just wanted to let you know before the video starts that I am in day homeschool. That's why I'm making this video. Secondly, I know a lot of you guys are gonna be homeschooled this year, which is really exciting, so that's why I made this video to kind of clear things up for you guys. Also, in the video, I don't look excited, but trust me, I am. Okay, no further talking, let's get into the video. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Abby, and today I'm going to be telling you 10 lies about homeschoolers that you've probably been told and that we get told by other people. So I hope this will bring some light to this situation and your assumptions about homeschoolers that may or may not be true, and also maybe a video that my fellow homeschoolers can relate to. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. The first assumption that a lot of people make, homeschoolers are very, very sheltered, and this actually has nothing to do with the fact that you're homeschooled. It's just a choice of like how you're going to educate your kids, and that's totally a separate issue with the parents. So yes, a lot of homeschoolers are sheltered, but so are public schoolers and private schoolers. I will say it's probably a lot easier to shelter homeschoolers because they're not going to school and they're not hearing all these things from all these other kids. So it's probably easier to, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you are. I wouldn't really say that I'm sheltered, but if you mean in the sense that I was sheltered from cussing and all that stuff, then yes, and I'm actually very glad for that because that just doesn't need to be a part of my life, and it never does need to be a part of my life. So I'm very glad that I was sheltered from those things. So yeah, when you meet a homeschooler, don't automatically assume that they're sheltered just because they're homeschooled, because that is definitely not really like a thing that's related to being homeschooled. Okay, so the second one is actually kind of funny. So it is people assuming that homeschoolers are either crazy genius, like really smart, or they're dumb. This is not true at all, and I think this comes from the assumption that you would pull your kid out of public school if they were like too smart for school, or if they were not smart enough for school. And I guess this does happen in rare occasions, but for most of us it is definitely not true. I'm just an average person, average smart, so don't automatically assume that about a homeschooler. Okay, then number 3 is totally not true. We have tons of free time. That is not true at all, especially in high school and middle school. So I did have quite a bit of free time in elementary, and I was very, very lucky in that sense because I could just get up early, do my schoolwork in like 2 hours because I could just do it on my own time, and then have the whole rest of the day to do whatever I wanted. So that was awesome. But those days are past, and I do not have a lot of free time anymore. I have a lot of schoolwork, and on top of that, I have hobbies like my YouTube channel, and I also run a store, so all that stuff coming into consideration, I do not have very much free time. The fourth one is definitely not true either. It is that we have no social life. This can also be categorized with we are scared of the outside, shy, socially awkward, and all of these can be true about a homeschooler if their parents, like I said, are sheltering them, which has nothing to do with being homeschooled, or if they don't bring them anywhere, or if they don't go anywhere, but that would just be really sad for me at least. And this is definitely not true about me because in my family, we go to a ton of co-ops. If you don't know what co-ops are, they're basically like school for homeschoolers. So it is like you go once a week or twice a week or whatever it is to gymnastics, choir, or just a general co-op where people get to hang out and learn about stuff. And this is like the version of school, like I said. This is where we meet all our friends usually, and this is where it's a time to hang out with their friends. For my family, we were in multiple of those, so we were going somewhere literally every single day. So I definitely do have a social life, and most homeschoolers do. I know some homeschoolers don't go to any co-ops, and that's totally fine, but at least for most homeschoolers, and me included, we go to co-ops and definitely have socialization and stuff like that. But yes, there are those homeschoolers out there, but there are also public schoolers out there like that. Okay, the fifth assumption is that all homeschoolers are super religious. And this is definitely not true. Like I said before, there are multiple reasons why people homeschool, and for me, this is true. I'm 100% Christian. In my family, we go to church. We are very, very Christian, but this is not true for everybody. You can't just assume that about a homeschooler. A lot of it is education because you don't know what they could be being taught at a public school. A lot of people like to choose their curriculum, so that's why they would homeschool, or other reasons. There are other reasons too, but I'm very Christian, and we are very Christian, and that is the main reason why we are homeschooled, is because you don't know what you could be told at public school, and we want to keep our Christianity very tight. So that's the main reason. I think it was a little bit of education too, but yeah, you can't just assume that about somebody just because they're number 6, and I bet this is one of the most common assumptions ever, is that we wear our pajamas to school, like when we do school. And this is not really a lie. This is actually very true, for me at least. I'm definitely wearing sweatpants right now, and I personally love to wear sweatpants while doing school because, I mean, why not if we can? At the same time, we don't always wear pajamas to school. A lot of people like to get ready for school because it makes them feel more put together and motivated. For me, I could just do it in sweatpants. I don't really care. So, mostly true. That is mostly true. But of course, if we go somewhere or something, we're gonna get dressed. Okay, the next one is something my sister actually brought up to me that people make assumptions about homeschoolers, and that is that they are old-fashioned. So, no, not most of us are not, I don't think I'm old-fashioned, but yeah, you can't just assume that about somebody just because they're homeschooled. And I don't think this is a super common assumption, but I thought it needed to be addressed because some people definitely do. Number 8, this is probably the worst one, and this is that we absolutely have no lives at all. And this comes from the assumption just because we're homeschooled means that we spend our whole entire lives at home. And this is definitely not true. It's actually almost the opposite of that. Because we do our school at home, we are very flexible, so we can travel whenever we want. We can do all those life experiences. Just because we do school at home doesn't mean we're at home all the time. Like, just because you go to school doesn't mean school is all you do. So definitely not true, and kind of the opposite. Number 9, this is not a very common assumption either, but some people will assume, if they don't know much about homeschooling, they will assume it's some type of cult. Definitely not true. We're not a cult. It is just a preference of education, and yeah, definitely not. And number 10 is we judge you. Most people will not judge you for being so that is all that I've came up with. If you guys can think of any more things that I missed, like assumptions that you heard about homeschoolers, or if you're a homeschooler yourself, just something that I missed, make sure to comment it down below and I'll make sure to answer them. I hope this put some light to the situation. If you're public schooled, I hope this kind of give you a new perspective on homeschooling. And if you like this video, then make sure to give it a big thumbs up. If you like my content, then make sure to hit the big red subscribe button down below. And if you stayed this far into the video, then comment a cookie. And I will see you guys in the next video very, very soon. Bye.